Everyone, this is Metal Anime and welcome back. Okay, so for sure we do gotta do more grinding because I apparently checked how much is Brock, and apparently he's like a level 14. I have Wormy at 3, I think, and then I have oh cool, and then I have the 13 for my big butt. So yeah, right now I'm kind of planning of at least leveling up Wormy a little bit so I can actually like poison the other people. And yeah, that's kind of my plan right now. Not much of a plan, but it's something. I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of forgot how far I've gone into the game, and I actually had to rewatch some of my videos, and I was like, whoops. Yeah, it's like, oof, I'm done. But I also wanted to try different videos this time because what I wanted to do was basically just draw what I want, or at least draw like part of the story, whichever one I'm reading or doing, and then from there I actually want to do that. I've watched like a lot of like horror animations, which I really am into, and not even gonna lie, they help me sleep. But they're also interesting too, because I know some of them can be real stories and then some of them cannot, but it's also interesting to see the animation to it, because everyone has different styles and it's just interesting to see. And then I also what also kind of helped me out to want to do that is is this one guy who basically like does creepy pastas, like just anything like that, and then he draws them, and I'm like, oh, that's actually cool, I like that. So I was like, I have to do it. Some of them I have been following since like, well, I wouldn't really say the beginning of their channel, but at least to some extent, where it's like, oh, okay, like especially back then. Ooh, critical hits. But yeah, I just found it really interesting that I'm like, I have to. But it's actually really rare for me to find someone who I can actually talk to about this type of stuff, and it sucks. But yeah, and then the idea also came from like my old videos, because I was like, oh hey, since like my old videos used to be really long, like maybe 5 minutes or so, or however long I drew the art for, but those would get copyrighted. And then I was just like, okay, so everything's getting copyrighted with music, I don't want that. And then too, obviously I was just like, oh well, there's times where I didn't add anything to it, and then eventually I actually found those type of videos. It's like, oh, I like that. And it's like it combines two of my favorite hobbies in a way. So I was like, ooh, okay. Also, I'm surprised the control still works. Ooh. Can I run? Yes. Okay. I ain't taking the risk. Oh, he's finally opened. Ooh, I actually ended up getting the manga for this one, And I was so happy because I was like, ah, no way. And I hear these are more brutal than the actual anime where it has ash in it. It's actually red. I was like, okay, cool. And then I know they made Pokemon Origins. I like that series actually, but obviously they didn't fully like do anything too harsh or anything like that because they were like, it's still a kids show. But yeah, I was like, oh okay, I like it. And then for my newest drawing as of now, like I drew the Pokemon, like I drew Gengar and the Toro type of thing, except I replaced Red with me and Gengar is still Gengar, and I did that because I was like, oh, oh, something failed. It's like an inside thing with me and my boyfriend because we were like, oh, like he's Clefairy, I'm Gengar, so it's kind of like that. And with just those ideas, I was like, oh, I kind of like it, and I drew that. And then two, I finally watched My Neighbor Toro because like I never watched it, and I was like, okay, I never watched you, but it's like I kind of want to see the other stories. But yeah, I mean, it was cute, but I didn't really like the ending for it because I literally thought that it was gonna actually end like a fully on ending, but instead it just shows that it only level 5, woo! And it just showed that like through pictures like how the ending was, and I was like, I'm not happy. I actually want to see like the full on like ending. And I notice with Ghibli films that's what they do, and then I'm like, I'm not happy with that. Because I know Ghibli films are for kids, but I grew up with them, especially with Spirited Away. That was the first one I've ever watched, and it was my favorite to watch, especially on Cartoon Network when it first came out. And I was like, oh, I love it. But back then I didn't even know that was anime or anything because I was just like a kid. But yeah, I like Spirited Away. I haven't watched it in many years actually. Should really do that. But yeah, there was other Ghibli films that I watched too, because I was like, oh, I never watched it. Oh, and I recently watched Us. Yeah, I think that came out in like 18 or 19, but that was a fail because of one of my old friends not wanting to go, so we ended up not being able to watch it. But I watched it, and I ended up liking it. Ooh, level 13. But yeah, I loved it. I was like, okay, this is an interesting premise. If that was me in that film, I would be fucking creeped out because it's like really like a twin. But we'll see. I really wish I didn't have to do this. Like, I keep constantly grinding, but it has to be. It's like, why? Ooh, super effective. Cool. Although for sure, I've been watercoloring in between, and it's actually not bad. It's working out, and I'm like, okay. The only thing I hate is that how it like ruins the paper, and then it's like, what if I want to draw the back or something? And I'm forcing myself to draw backgrounds because I always draw people, and I'm like, I gotta get to the habit of drawing other things besides people. And even if I draw people, like, I also have to try and draw realistic because I haven't been practicing on that either. Although I've been noticing that some people have been writing more into like my old videos, and it's like, oh cool, this channel's slowly growing slash reaching out, and I'm happy. And then it's like, yes, it's finally working. At the same time, it's nice to like have some conversations with people, because I'm like, ooh, it's like get to know about like opinions, feedbacks about my stuff, so it's like cool. Although the thing that I don't get is how YouTube made my videos into shorts, and it's like they were not supposed to be shorts. I actually didn't even know they were considered shorts until like I randomly saw it, and I was like, weird.
I'm leaving, by the way.
Alright, see ya. Sorry about that. You know what I really wish I can do is like make videos about like Twilight Princess or any other of the Sola franchise, or at least something from like actually there is Ocarina of Time. There's like two types of videos, I think, because I have the randomizer, which doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Zelda Master, which he's like one of the people I grew up with, like watching since I was a kid, and up till now. So there's that, and then there's the other one. Ooh, and then there's and then recently I get to play. I think it's called Batman Knight, because I have the Xbox S, and it's pretty cool. I like it so far, and I'm like, oh, now I get to at least use the Batmobile, and I was like, yes, oh, it's so cool. But as usual, I'm guessing that the story is gonna be super short, and I'm not gonna like that. And I think you're supposed to collect Joker trophies, something. I'm not too sure, because I was like, I think I saw that somewhere. But for Batman Arkham City, I'm playing that, and I'm like, well, I played on my 360, and I'm like, okay, story short, but it was good. But I did not want to collect the fucking Riddler trophies, because I'm like, I'd rather not. It was a lot, and I think I have like about maybe 100, and I think it's out of 400. I'm not too sure how much it is, but yeah, there's that. And then recently, I didn't even know that there was like a makeup collection for Batman, and I was like, what? No way. When I heard about it, I was so happy, because I was like, oh my god, I need to see it. But whenever I went to stores, it was sold out, or it barely had like one or two things. One of them for sure, they did have the lip glosses. So yeah, I saw the Batman one, which is the clear lip gloss, and then I saw the Joker lip gloss, which is red. And I thought that it looks super pigmented, and I was like, oh, is this a lipstick? But when I read its lip gloss, I was like, never mind. I think I'm gonna stay away from it. But then I saw reviews because I really wanted to see the collection, but everything was sold out. So I kept watching videos, and apparently there's like two Batman ones. Obviously, there's the little tiny one, and then there's the giant one. The bad thing with the giant one, it has nude colors, which won't show up on my skin because I'm a little bit dark skinned. So I'm like, that's not gonna work. And then I saw the little tiny one, and I was like, yeah, I can totally use these colors. And I was like, it's so cool. And then in person, I actually got to see the Joker one, and I was so happy because I really love the packaging and everything. And I was like, I need to fucking see, like, the colors that came up that had it inside were like two grays. One is dark and one is light. The other one, there was red and green, blue, and I'm kind of forgetting the other one, but those were some of the colors in it. I'm like, oh, I can make something with those, because they actually will show up on my skin. So I was like, yes. So I was happy on that. And then there's there's Catwoman and Batgirl, if I'm correct. It can be, no, wait. Yeah, it's either one of the two, and then it's Harley Quinn. Yeah. So those are the ones that they had. And the other two, like, they looked pretty interesting. They kind of had nude colors, which obviously I can't wear. And I was like, okay, they're not bad. Like, they were actually pretty cute. Especially the packaging. I really love the packaging. But yeah, I wonder what type of like looks people will make out of those, because they have like interesting colors in it. I think Harley Quinn had like pastel type of colors, and it kind of blended in with the Suicide Squad one. So that's what I heard when I was watching like a bunch of reviews and everything. Oh, and then I've always wanted to do like makeup looks, but I can't really do that. I really wish, but I can't. And it's interesting because I'm like, oh, there's so many freaking colors. Although if I were to get a palette, I think I would get James Charles. Not because I like James Charles. If anything, I'll just watch the freaking like drama videos. That's what I'll watch out of those. Mostly because I don't really like any beauty gurus. I don't know, they're all problematic. There's like not really any like good ones that are not. I mean, one of them I can think of would be Nikki Tutorials, because she's never really in any drama or causes drama. Tati was one of them, but she after that whole scandal, it's like, yikes. And I didn't even know she had another scandal too, so I was like, oh shit. But yeah, I kind of liked her because like she was like, she was on point. She didn't bullshit anything. She was like, oh, I'm giving you my honest review on these things. And I was like, oh, I like this. But after that, I was like, oh. And yeah, I was just sad. I was like, yikes. Another YouTuber that I really loved during the since I was a kid would be Shane Dawson, which obviously it's so bad with him. Yeah, I don't know. There's just like some YouTubers that were really good back then, and then they all went downhill. just because of like scandals or just anything in general. It's like, that is so bad. I'm like, I feel sad because I grew up with them. Um, there was actually his palette. Some of the colors did not look good. I mean, you could work with some, or with some, if you're really creative. I'm not really that creative, so I'm like, I don't see it with me. But I know with other people you can. So, so I'm like, yes, that's cool. And then from there, I'm just like, okay. Jeffree Star, I heard his makeup stuff is really good. Sometimes I want to try it out, mostly because my older brother's girlfriend, she like has a palette that about his, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like some of the colors look nice. She's they work for her a lot because she's a little bit like lighter than me, so I'm like, yeah,